Hi, I'm Tommy.
And I'm Paul.
Welcome to our podcast, Dementia from the Inside Out. Hello and welcome to everyone around the world to our podcast, Dementia from the Inside Out. I'm Tommy Dunn and I'm living with Alzheimer's.
I'm Paul Hitchmo, also living with Alzheimer's.
And today we're going to be chatting about coping with depression and anxiety in dementia care. I know for a fact that there's many times during the day when I feel depression and anxiety pulling me down by the shoulders like quicksand.
It's a known fact that women experience depression at a higher rate than men.
Yeah, women, primarily wives and daughters, provide the majority of caregiving. Do you know, I once saw the fact that the military and veteran caregivers experience depression nearly twice the rate of the non-military caregivers.
Family carers need respite. Loss of sleep as a result of caring for a loved one can lead to a serious depression.
Yeah, and people always assume that once the caregiving is over, that the stress from providing hands-on care goes away.
Since dementia can cause some of the same symptoms, identifying depression in someone with Alzheimer's can be very difficult.
Yes, symptoms which are common to both depression and dementia. These symptoms include trouble concentrating, loss of interest in activities, hobbies, impaired thinking, apathy, social withdrawal and isolation.
So loneliness feeds the symptoms, as people living with dementia are more withdrawn and isolated from society.
Yeah, now the cognitive impairments experienced by people living with dementia often makes it difficult for them to articulate their sadness and hopefulness, their guilt and other feelings associated with depression.
Other symptoms usually associated with depression, such as guilt, suicidal thoughts and low self-esteem, are not as common.
Right. If you're worried about a person living with dementia's depression, talk to a doctor to determine if a medical treatment or consultation is warranted.
It's important that an evaluating physician be familiar with what depression looks like when paired with dementia.
Yeah, anxiety may be due to processing information and experiences, both new and old.
New places and faces can be unsettling for individuals with dementia, especially as their memories of familiar places and faces fade away.
Yeah, now, some people with dementia respond to anxiety by pacing, clinging to familiar objects or individuals, experience insomnia or restlessness.
As a carer, you need to reassure and remind them of how much they care.
Yeah, carers may find it helpful to come up with peace and distracting activities that their loved ones can focus on instead of worrying.
If you leave the house, try leaving notes telling where you are and when you will return.
Yeah, because you can guarantee that people living with dementia will sometimes have mood swings because they get frustrated by loss of their abilities.
This can be because they are just scared, confused, or indeed tired.
Mood swings can also occur because an individual has pain, is too hot, or is too cold, is hungry, or is just plain bored.
Also, diet, caffeine, feeling rushed, clutter, noise, and general overstimulation.
Yeah, now, dementia may lower a person's inhibitions or filter due to brain changes when it comes to expressing emotions, resulting in an increase in crying or in angry outbursts.
Try to accept that mood swings are caused by dementia and are not the individual purposely acting out.
Yeah, to lessen the severity of mood swings and make occurrences less frequent, knowing the individual's likes and dislikes is key.
The most important thing is keeping a log of what upsets him here, times of the day the individual is more likely to act out, what calms the person down.
Yeah, caregivers of dementia patients can experience various emotional problems during the course of the illness.
One such disorder that is frequently overlooked and not treated is carers' depression.
Yeah, carers of people living with dementia report more emotional strain and depressive symptoms than carers of persons who do not have dementia.
Caring for an individual with dementia can be challenging and at times overwhelming.
Such stress and frustration with its impact on carers' physical and mental health could possibly set the scene for potential abuse.
As a carer, are you beginning to feel that nothing you do is good enough?
Are you tired all the time, tearful or angry, or get easily agitated?
As a carer, are you suffering physical symptoms such as headaches, chronic pain, or digestive problems that won't go away?
Yeah, you're not alone, because caring for someone with dementia takes its toll physically and mentally. And if you're feeling most of these symptoms above, it's likely that you are depressed.
But it's important to remember that depression is not a sign of weakness. It's an understandable reaction to your current situation.
Yeah, in fact, it's probably a testament of your strength that you've managed to keep caring for your loved one despite feeling so low.
The good news is that now you've recognised what's wrong, there's plenty you can do to feel better.
So make sure you eat properly and look after your physical health. Sleep helps the brain and body recover from fatigue, and a lack of sleep contributes to depression.
Make sure your mattress and pillow are comfortable, your bedroom is dark enough and isn't too hot or too cold. Short, regular me time is crucial, and it's not selfish.
Yeah. Anxiety and agitation may be caused by a number of different medical conditions and interactions.
Or by circumstances that worsen the person's ability to think.
Yeah. A person living with dementia's biology experiences a profound loss of their ability to negotiate new information and stimulus as a direct result of this disease.
Looking after a person with dementia is like playing charades.
Yes. When you know the answer, it makes perfect sense of what they've been trying to say.
Try to put yourself in the person's situation. Look at your loved one's body language and imagine that what they might be feeling or trying to express.
Yeah, fresh air therapy is a great way to help depressed loved ones to reconnect with the invigorating energy of the living world.
Attempt to incorporate some form of their previous passions into their regular routine.
Yeah. You as a carer of someone with dementia is twice as likely to suffer from depression as a person providing care for someone without dementia.
Caring for a loved one with dementia and making sure they're always safe isn't only physically exhausting, it can be lonely and frustrating.
You know, care it's not selfish to spend time preparing a healthy meal or keep a doctor's appointment. It's essential for your own well-being.
A warm, milky drink eases insomnia and restlessness because calcium can reduce muscle spasms and soothe the tensions.
Yeah, carers need to have some regular short time during which you enjoy every day, as it won't only make you feel better, it will make you a better carer.
Arrange to meet a fellow carer once a week for a coffee and a reality chat.
Yeah, I mean, comments from others such as snap out of it or it's all in your head are not helpful and reflect the belief that mental health concerns are not real.
We hear this about most people who are depressed and anxious.
Being mentally healthy doesn't just mean that you have a mental health problem.
Unfortunately, depression and dementia together create more suffering and complications than either condition alone.
Yeah. All of us at some time or other will feel anxiety, that feeling of fear or unease, and that is this is normal to an extent.
Caring for a person living with dementia, the anxiety can become so intense that it gets in the way of everyday life.
People experience anxiety might feel like they are out of control and experience physical symptoms such as palpitations, sweating, headaches, and panic attacks.
Unfortunately, anxiety can affect sleep patterns, appetite, concentration, and a loss of interest in things they previously enjoyed.
While depression is when low mood and feelings of being helpless and hopelessness are persistent for a long time.
Depression can change how a person feels, both physically and emotionally.
And depression, like anxiety, can affect sleep patterns, appetite and loss of interest in activities the person previously enjoyed.
Depression can cause tearfulness, poor concentration, make a person feel extremely fatigued. It can feel like running a marathon every single day.
And it also brings on general pains like headaches, loss of libido, a feeling of isolation, and thoughts about self-harm and suicide.
It's more than usual for the person to experience either anxiety or depression.
But it is possible to experience them both at the same time, especially in the cases of dementia and those caring for them.
Make sure that you enable an active social life for the person living with dementia and easy, regular exercise.
And continue the activities the person has always enjoyed and try new ones. These can help behaviours that are out of character.
Sometimes these behaviours are not a dementia symptom. They can be the result of frustration with not being understood or with their close environment.
If the change in behaviour becomes on suddenly, then the cause may be a health problem. The person may be in pain or discomfort, or from constipation or an infection.
Ask a GP for an assessment to rule out or treat any underlying cause.
And we can't stress this enough. As we've said, comments from others such as snap out of it, it's all in your head, are not helpful and really do reflect the belief that mental health conditions are not real. It's certainly not helpful to the person concerned, but it can be very difficult to know if a person with dementia is depressed.
But remember that being mentally healthy doesn't just mean that you don't have a mental health problem.
I mean, some of the other typical signs of depression are loss of interest and pleasure in previously enjoyed activities, of energy, sleep loss, loss of appetite and weight.
But especially look out for expressing feelings of worthlessness and sadness, being unusually emotional, crying, angry or agitated, increased confusion.
Yeah, but unfortunately, many of the symptoms of dementia and depression are alike, and it can be very difficult to tell the difference, therefore very hard to get it diagnosed.
A common symptom of dementia is apathy, the loss of initiative and motivation.
Apathy is more common than depression in people living with dementia, but it doesn't respond the same way to antidepressive treatment.
In fact, some of the antidepressants can increase apathy.
You may face years or even decades of caregiving responsibility, and it can be particularly disheartening when there's no hope that your family member will ever get better.
Carers who feel the blues when confined indoors or in response to winter's grey days may suffer from seasonal affective disorder, SAD.
Sad, yeah. Yeah, social isolation can cause depression in some people with dementia. Depression can be a side effect of some medications, though.
Face your fears when they won't seem so bad. There is nothing that you can't do once you face them.
No one on this earth is perfect, but you are unique, and always remember that, always.
Establish a consistent daily routine. This will help reassure the person living with dementia, as well as reducing confusion.
As a carer without enough support, feelings of being ignored, abandoned, or criticised fester into anger and depression.
Medication alone is not the most effective treatment for depression.
Talk to a support group of people who are going through or have been through depression.
Make a note of what cheered you up last time you felt down.
Anticipatory grief is a similar emotion given by caretakers who are coping with a loved one's long-term chronic illness.
Never say to someone with depression, anxiety, I know how you feel. Feeling down is not the same as being depressed.
Yeah, depression and dementia do not make good bedmates. Unfortunately, they often go hand in hand.
Depression is not like the flu, where you can take medication to make you feel better.
So get away from the notion that all people with depression go around feeling and looking down, feeling sorry for themselves all the time.
Any depressed person is rarely able to make themselves better by sheer will. You need lots of support, reassurance and professional help.
Yeah, depression is treatable, and that treatment is available, and it can make a significant difference in quality of life.
Socialising can improve your mood by keeping in touch with friends and family. means you have someone to talk to when you feel low.
Yeah, unfortunately, we know that people don't want to be around people who are depressed and want to keep away from them as far as possible.
I know it's hard to get out and about, but the longer you stay away from doing it, the more depressed you will get.
Yeah, depression is more common than you think. It's a normal response to a difficult situation.
Depression loves to spend time alone with you. Don't lose your confidence about going out, driving, or travelling.
Depression always takes away your confidence first. There's nothing worse than feeling your heart hit the ground.
Have you ever tried to think clearly when you're flooded with fear or anxiety? It's impossible.
So the first thing you got to do is physically calm down. You need to get your mind back into the positive thoughts, have a cup of tea, and take a long soak in a bath with your favourite music.
Learn to breathe slower. It's horrible when you feel your heart beating fast enough that you think it's going to burst through your chest.
But get used to the fact that it may take years and years to recover from depression. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It really does take time.
Please don't try and go through dementia or depression alone.
Remember, for a family carer with dementia-related behaviour is an even bigger contributor to developing depression.
Please don't be afraid of asking for help. It's a sign of strength, not weakness.
So thank you for joining us. And drop us an email and keep your thoughts and comments coming in at the email address here. So goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.